know we were going to have a show tonight.
It was hanging in the balance there for a little bit.
Hey, everybody, it's good to be with you. And it's good to be with you, Sam. You got to be going crazy. I mean, Bart Hall show coming up. I know you've been packing.
Yep.
We got a new studio tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, right?
Yes, we do. Yeah. Definitely a few plates in the air, as they say.
Man.
This time of year, yeah.
Way too many. There's a lot going on. I just saw you watching my Barracuda video. That was
pretty cool.
Pitching,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I know.
Down in Ensenada, in case you don't know, if you haven't been watching, there's been some really good Barracuda action in Ensenada. It's a little bit early for those guys. They've seen a little yellowtail down there. And, you combine this with, I interviewed Pat O'Brien the other day.
Okay.
He's the guy that runs the Aloha Spirit when Pat doesn't run it. And he was saying that the halibut up there are already spawning. And he said they don't do that. Normally it's March, like that.
Usually like
February,
a water
March.
temperature thing? Or?
He thinks, because it's 60, and he goes, it wouldn't surprise me if the water was 54 here. So maybe this El Nino thing is what he was saying. Could be having some kind of an impact. And
right.
Man, it's pretty crazy what's going on. No doubt about that. What else can I tell you? Great stuff.
New studio?
New studio. I mean, I love the new studio. Who wouldn't love the new studio? Of course, we're shooting from a little slightly different angle. And everybody, listen, let's be honest here. We weren't sure we were going to do a show.
Yeah.
And then you said, hey, we're packed up. I was off doing something else, and I go, let me go get my microphones, and I'll be right out. So I'm happy you did that because this is awesome.
Yeah, we weren't sure. I mean, this morning, just trying to gauge the rain, as to how quickly we can pack up, but it wasn't too bad, and the guys did a great job. We got the truck full, ready to go. Tomorrow's our load-in day at the Long Beach Convention Center, so we're pretty excited about getting that thing set up. A lot of work ahead of us, but actually loading the truck up is kind of like half the work almost, because you got to make sure it all fits. And sometimes we have plans of how we're going to set it up. So we put this in, then put that in, and it's just like packing for a trip. Before you know it, you got 25 rods. You're trying to figure out which ones you need, So, getting ready for the show is no different.
So tonight, we're not only going to talk about what's biting. We'll talk about that like we always do.
Yeah.
But we're also going to talk about some of the great deals you got at the Bart Hall Show, because a lot of people go to the show looking for a deal, and you certainly have a few of them. So we'll talk about that. Anybody has any request of Sam? Is there stuff still here that you can run around and get?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes people will ask, well, you guys take the whole shop, and we do take a lot. There's no doubt about it. We want to be able to kind of give you guys a good offering, and be able to go down and be able to service everybody as much as possible. But we got a lot of stuff in here left, and granted, there's going to be some things that we don't have, and so if you have a question about it, but we got all the reels here. We got most of the rods. I mean, stuff like that, lures. I mean, they're all pretty much here. In fact, tomorrow, most of what we're taking, by and large, is going to be kind of like the grid work of it. All the grid wall, all the cases, all the racks, and that kind of stuff. So basically, the framework of the whole thing. That's kind of our main thing. What we're taking, a lot of the inventory is still here. We're going to be taking that the next day to kind of fill those racks. But yeah, we should be able to help you on that too if somebody happens to ask about that.
Yeah, that's great. I want to read a couple comments real quick, and then we'll get into it. Travis Bright, we love you. Travis, where were you at La Fogada? By the way, thanks to everybody who showed up at La Fogada. Thank you for showing up. It was really a lot of fun. We had a blast. The food is great, and there were so many nice people there. And Shant, Sarkisian, really was a magnificent host, so that was great. Missed you there, Travis. Good evening, guys. Sam, will you have slow pitch jigs at the Hall Show this week? Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And we've always been taking those, knife jigs and slow pitch jigs. Nothing really different, I can say, as far as anything new as far as on the jig side of it. Just the fact that we'll have them available. We always have those on a good deal. Typically, we do those buy two get one free. For all the different brands that we have, and we should have a pretty good selection there for that.
All right, excellent. Jeremy says, good evening, Phil and Sam. Robert Slager says, is Phil in China? I'm right here next to you,
yeah,
right?
Could be in China.
Hey, I think you probably watched that. Maybe you watched the bug eating video I put up. I put a video of Philip eating these friggin'.
Oh, you were talking about that.
It's funny, man. It's really funny. But no, Robert, I mentioned in the video that I taught in China for 3 years, and here's some of the great memories. So, no, I'm right here and don't have any plans of going back permanently. I might go to Hong Kong this summer to visit a friend, but that's about it. Christopher Martinez says he's the first of many likes, I'm hoping. So hit that like button, everybody. Subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Sam was saying, man, you got 12,000 subscribers now. It's good. You need to get 100,000. So I like getting that, push me. Sam, push me. What'd you think about that Barracuda? That was just, we've already mentioned it, but I love Barracuda fishing. Because I love getting bit on the iron. Just seeing that makes me want to turn around and go down there before the show starts and catch one.
Well, it kind of almost is not quite to that level, but it's almost like the albacore thing. We always talk about albacore every year, and for guys that haven't been fishing that long, they know what it is. They've seen pictures of it, but they don't really understand everything that goes on or that's gone on around our industry, around albacore. And Barracuda is a very similar type of thing, more for the local guy, half-day boat guy. It always kind of signaled the very beginning of the season. And then also, too, it was a fish that ate a jig, which made fishing for them like just, some of the most fun you would have growing up. It would give you your first experience for most guys of a true like wide open type fishery on a jig. And that alone right there, for a lot of people, I know me included, is kind of how you just got hooked. There's so many other things that are great about fishing. You go out there, it's with the guys, and you see a lot of cool stuff. You see whales and dolphins and all these different things like that, and just see cool stuff. But having a fish eat your jig on the wind is at least for Southern California fishing, I would imagine it's like that anywhere in the world. But it's kind of our first kind of that adrenaline hit. That there's just nothing else like it. In fishing, in my opinion. And so when you see it, when you see guys, catching them even in a video, I think immediately it brings you to those times where that used to be something that you used to look forward to. We really haven't had really good Barracuda fishing here the last, 10 years or so.
Right.
But we definitely, I know me and you were kind of of the same thought process of it bringing us that same excitement. So I think that's kind of when we see that video, it's like, oh yeah, I got to have it.
Definitely, man. And just to see it so early really is totally exciting to me. Have I been reading the wrong?
So you got two different ones.
I know. I've been on the one that's not showing up right now. So I read all their comments. Now I can get into these other guys
You
here.
got two videos going at once, I think.
Are they both? No, I canceled one.
I don't know what the heck's going on.
I don't either. Hold on.
Because you were reading those questions, and I'm like, that's not on mine. I don't know what's going on.
And I kept looking, and you have the live feed, but I don't have it. And now I'm over where you're at.
Yeah.
And there's actually people watching here. I had it all screwed up. All right. Let me go cancel that other one in a second. When you answer the next question, I'm going to go bye-bye for a second. All right, Blue Sky. Sam, what do you think about eating chapoline?
See, that's the other one.
Seen Phil's sons. Oh, eating bugs. Yes.
Yeah, that's the other feed. Yeah.
Oh, is this the right one?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, this is the right one.
I just hope we catch people's questions because I was looking at you, but then
I know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Hold on. I'm going to delete this other one. Yeah. And what do you think about eating chapolinas?
I've never done it.
Really? I have.
I've never done it. Yeah, you were telling me about that, and it seems like a cool thing. Yeah. I don't know.
All right, and let's get one last one on the one. God,
that one,
yeah. Steve was right. I was laughing too when he left. He was, you're going to screw this all up tonight. I was like, no, I'm not.
10 minutes after he got here, not even 10 minutes, 2 minutes after Phil got here, his phone was low on charge, right? So he's like, oh, where's the charger?
Hey,
we found him a charger. Hey, Phil, it's right here. Okay, cool. He went to go plug it in. And literally, Steve left 5 minutes later, and Phil was, where the hell is my phone? Like, this just 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. I'm juggling a lot of stuff right now, man. So, yeah, and then thank God Steve was there.
He heard it.
It's on the charger, you moron. Yeah. That was too much. Hey, we're actually getting questions over this other thing. I better shut this thing down. It's out of control.
Yeah, because I see the live feed on this one. You're right.
Yeah, so the other one needs to be shut off somehow, and I'll figure that out in a second. All right, I'm going to bounce back to the one that's actually on right now, I think. Hold on.
Let me turn this camera up just a little bit.
There we go. All right. So you don't want to say any more about eating. Oh, have you never eaten them, right?
I've never eaten them.
Okay. Hey, this is Glenn Bradley, by the way. Hey, guys. So this summer, El Nino's bringing us here in Southern California waters. Will it bring us exotics is, I think, what he's asking.
100%. No, I mean, it's hard to really predict that kind of stuff. I mean, in general, the last, 10 years, I think even though we haven't had your traditional El Nino water conditions, you can say, the exotics have been plentiful, really. I mean, everything from that, yellowtail and 150 when you were still in China.
Yeah.
That's Dorado. We've had wahoo, we've had blue marlin. This bluefin's been around. I mean, at this point now, it's almost hard to believe that it's going to come back again. I mean, that's another thing too. In years past,
It's hard to believe what it's going to come back again.
Well, I mean, in years past, we'd have a couple good years. We'd have an El Nino, it's full speed, yellowtail at the kelp patties local, a half day boat getting them on the horseshoe, stuff like that, and then it'd be slow the next year. And that was something that I thought, I remember it being pretty common that we'd have a couple banner years.
Yes.
And then it would be kind of like scratching.
Yeah, right.
We'd have a cold water session here. And
right. You get into a La Nina and it's really cold.
Cold. It'd be, hard to get anything. We didn't get no bass, hardly get any bonita, things like that. And so at this point now, I feel like we've had a whole decade worth of an almost El Nino of some sort. I mean, not necessarily the water conditions, but the fishing conditions have just been incredible. One thing or another seems like. So at this point now, I mean, if we have anything close to what we've had the last 10 years, I just can't see it being something that'd be disappointing for sure. So, I mean, I don't know what else we can get. I mean, as far as exotics,
God, I mean, it's just incredible. We're getting so used to this big bluefin tuna being around.
But even that Dorado that came around.
Oh my God, that was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, and it depends on how you define a, exotic. That there's that triggerfish that they still catch. I mean, something we'd never catch.
Yeah.
Ever. And now there seems to be a year-round species. I know triggerfish isn't really high on our list of
but it's still
prize fish, but it's cool. In that category.
Yeah,
of something you would
unique
normally
and different.
Unique and different, right? Yeah. So at this point now, I mean, we'll see what we get. But that halibut, I mean, already I know that Aaron Grammy's doing the deal on the Native Sun where they're doing that month-long.
He had a derby. He had 6 on his last trip.
Yeah, 25-pounder. I don't know how anybody's going to beat that already. I mean, they're a week in. And they already got like this monster halibut, so.
No.
But
it's like, man. I mean, the way this year is, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody does beat it.
Yeah.
Some private boater, I put him up yesterday at a 45-pound flatty.
That is crazy. I mean, that's like a once-a-year fish.
Yeah.
That maybe one guy would catch one between all the landings, and everyone would know about it. It'd be front page Western Outdoor News.
Yeah.
Now it seems like they catch one of those a month.
I'm telling you, man. It's like a whole different world we're living in. And fishing is actually way better than when I was a kid.
Way better.
Right?
Way better. I mean,
I tell you that
on a consistent basis. Yeah, we've had some highlights back in the day, where there was like yellowtail corroded at Point Vincennes or something like that. There was a couple days like that, or the sea bass would go crazy, at Rocky Point. There was always those instances of those things that we remember where there was a special occasion. But I mean, to have this every year, multiple times a year in different zones, that's something that we've never had.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah.
Pretty dang good fishing.
It is. And, the signals are all good because you have all that squid around. We've already seen the halibut start to bite. Yeah. Now we got Barracuda down south of the border, which I explained today that the progression of that Barracuda into Southern California sometimes is very confusing. Like, you would think Ensenada, okay, San Diego, LA. Sometimes it's Ensenada, Channel Islands, wide open. Like, right? And so who knows what'll be next there. And then good signal on the yellows down there at San Martin Island, San Quintin area. So you might think that probably Collinette is pretty good also. Yeah,
and that bluefin, like you were mentioning on your reports, I mean, they're already limited out, so that only kind of shows the status of that fishery, of that population of fish. I mean, it's kind of staging up for another good bluefin year. So, I mean, that's already on par. I mean, with what's been going on. So, I don't know. I mean, I can't see it getting much better. I mean, there's always going to be something, right? There's always going to say, well, I wish we would have caught some more Barracuda. I wish we could have caught some more yellowtail at Catalina. And we do. We want all that. We really want it to be good for everybody. But there hasn't been a shortage of opportunity for sure.
That's for sure.
So that to me is kind of the deal. I mean, back in the 80s, we had a couple good years, but then there was a couple years where there wasn't anybody catching anything. All the overnight boats on the way out to Catalina would stop in the middle of the night to catch sand bass just to make sure they had something in the sack.
Fish, yeah.
Yeah, because you might go all day and catch 3 or 4 fish at Catalina the whole rest of your overnight trip. And that was actually pretty common, at times during the summer. I mean, not like, April thing or late November where you're like, well, conditions aren't really ready. No, this is like July.
Yeah.
We were doing that,
right.
So, and we just haven't had anything close to that.
I
I mean,
know.
not anything close to that.
I know.
So it's pretty dang good.
I mean, when you think that we are actually offshore, like in March,
Yeah.
like where you never were offshore until July.
Yeah, until July. 4th of July was always the
Yeah.
kickoff, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. So
All right, good stuff. Blue Sky says, Sam, Blue Skies is promoting my insect eating video
I'll see it.
in China. So he says, you got to watch the video, Sam. Sam will watch it, right, Sam?
I'm gonna watch it.
He wants to know if I ever ate a banana leaf grub in Vietnam. I missed that. I would have tried it.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
So when when the kids, anybody who's watched that video, Philip goes to me. Obviously, I didn't film it because I was doing the filming. He goes, "Why don't you eat one, Dad? Why don't you?" And I go, "Give me that." And I threw it in my mouth. Put it over here. And I go, "Not that bad." And then he turned and started talking to Patrick, and I go, "Nate, now it's your turn."
Yeah.
Yeah, so he got screwed in the whole deal. Glenn Bradley wondering if the bluefin will be back also. Well, Glenn, the Mexican seiner fleet is done. They have seined up their quota of bluefin for the year already. So that answers the question pretty much, right? They're here again, Glenn.
Yeah, I mean, and they caught them as early as like the day before the New Year, down there at Colonette or whatever, they were getting those big fish. So there's definitely no shortage of them. I think that once these boats kind of get all their maintenance done and all of that kind of stuff done for the year, and they start running again here shortly after these shows, I would imagine that they're going to be right on them again.
Yeah, yeah. We had a whole bunch of questions on the other channel, so hopefully I've deleted it. This is the only thing going right now. So it only took me a little while. I got the microphones correct tonight.
That's how you're going to get more subscribers.
Bouncing them all around?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's another show. Man, that show had 50.
Two shows tonight.
Yeah, man, this guy is just going crazy. Daniel Lightfoot, this is Michael. Good evening,
Michael.
Phil and Sam. Michael, why aren't you here tonight? Well, actually, I know why, because Grandpa, Daniel Lightfoot, he's afraid to drive in the rain. He's a little scaredy,
understandable.
Scaredy cat.
It's
No, it's
understandable.
not. He's a big wimp. What are you talking about? You called me, it was pouring rain, and I stepped on the gas and got here.
Well, you're crazy. He's not.
Yeah. That is so true. Hey, Patrick and Sarah Jack in Montana, we love you guys. They say, hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
Hola, caballeros. They're practicing their Espanol. It sounds good to me. What was the crane boat you showed today on its way to Sam's shop to help load up for the Long Beach show? Yeah, I put a photo of a weird-looking ship off Surfside today with all these cranes on it.
Huh.
Really look weird. You'll see it on Facebook later. I know you haven't had time to do anything but think of the show, but yeah. Hey, Doug Tilk. And I didn't see Doug today, but I saw him yesterday. Doug was at the La Fogata fun time that we had yesterday. Let's see. Doug Tilk. Sorry, laughed my you-know-what off. Great Bass Bros video. See you tomorrow. Chicken tonight. Yeah, bring chicken. Only if it's Costco chicken. He's the guy that brought 500,000 chickens. So generous and good. He laughed his ass off at that insect eating video, but he actually said to me, hey, I watched that on your boys' channel. I go, man, I'm going to swipe that and put it up on my channel because it's pretty
they
funny,
had it on
man.
theirs, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It's when, this kind of segues into something I can talk about, personal thing. I won't draw it out too much, but it segues into Patrick and I were teaching there. Philip and Jessica, Philip's wife, came down, and then they, it's the Three Stooges at that point, me and the two boys. Patrick is going to have a baby soon, and I will be a grandpa.
Wow.
I may stop dyeing my beard at that part. Just let it go gray.
Go full Santa, huh?
Hey, yeah, but we're all stoked.
That's so awesome.
And the reason why I segue into that is because Kaylin, he met in China.
Yes.
She was teaching there.
Yes.
So it all comes together,
What a journey.
and I'm excited about that.
What a journey.
Yeah, really. Doug, good to hear from you. Scott Bouchard, Mission Bell need a few more on Saturday for the half-day boat. So translated means Scott gets to work if they run.
Yeah.
So Mission Bell all the way. Come on, let's do this.
Well, Scott, he just donates his pay for the day to buy a couple tickets.
Oh,
and you guys can run, Scott.
well, no, wait
Don't
a
be
minute.
selfish, Scott. Come on.
Wait, no, send that money here so we can eat tonight. Forget. Hey, that's going to be a Mission Bell. Sean Hardigan, I'm guessing, and Sean is a great guy. He just had a baby with Mimi not too long ago, actually like 3 months ago now. But Scott, Mission Bell, half-day boat, Saturday. Who knows? Maybe the Gar will be up there by then. Barracuda on the iron.
If you don't make it to the boat, come down to the show.
Yeah,
Saturday.
there you go. Yeah, let's not forget that. You want me to read a couple more comments, or do you want to give one? You want
Let's
to give?
go. We have a lot, so let's
Oh, do we?
catch up
Okay,
here.
I haven't even seen. All right, Eric, looking for a bass and yellowtail all in one setup. What's your opinion of a Phoenix M1 or Black Diamond inshore?
Both great rods. There's so many of them. Out there. From the Proteus rod from Daiwa to these rods that you're mentioning here, that M1, and the M1 I'd probably go with the 82 heavy, and that Black Diamond inshore. I think they have an 807 or a 806 or something like that inshore. I think that rod is pretty nice as well. But yeah, you're good on that. Yellowtail is going to be one of those things that there's definitely a limit. You get into some of these big bruisers, or maybe fishing yo-yo iron or dropper loop, where maybe that setup wouldn't be quite as appropriate. But for fly lining or small jigs, I think you're pretty good.
All right, very good. Isaac, good evening, gentlemen. Hey, Ethan and I got on a hot Barracuda bite at the Coronado Islands. Luckily, I had 2 jig sticks to keep him busy.
Nice.
I would cast one of them. He would reel in one. Yeah, that's fun, man. He's reeling in one. You hang another fish. He gets that fish. You hand him another fish. That's cool stuff, man. Anthony says, yes, I'm going on that boat on the 4th. Can't wait. So
Mission Bell, maybe?
Yeah, Mission Bell, maybe. Right, Anthony? That's good stuff. David Jimenez, hi, guys. I just got a Hobie kayak. Where can I go catch some saltwater fish?
Probably your nearest harbor. I'm not sure exactly where you're located. Around here, a lot of guys go and fish, launch out of Cabrillo. They have a little launch ramp there. That's probably the most common in fishing along the breakwall. But depending on where you're at.
Yeah, exactly. Newport is another great harbor. It's got a lot of spotted bass. Huntington Harbor.
Yeah.
That's really good over there. Huntington's really great. So, yeah, it depends on where you live, David. If you want to throw in there where you do live, or
Mission Bay is kind of like, rural renown, actually, for some of their spotted bay bass fishing. So, yeah, all those places would be good.
All right, Jimmy Gutierrez says, hello, Jimmy. Good to see you, my friend. Chuck Zimmer, he was at the La Fogada event, and he brought 3 kids, Chuck, his daughter, and
I saw that. I was watching the video. Yeah, 3 minutes in, he was leaving already, I think.
Yeah, he was out. He'd had enough.
That's as far as I got in the video.
Yeah, really. Then he saw the cupcakes and stayed.
Oh.
Yeah. He wants to know what the killer deals are for the show. You going to hang on to that for a little while or what?
Yeah.
All right.
The main thing I would say, Chuck, is show up the first day. I mean, that really is a big key to getting on the good deals. But yeah.
It is?
We'll talk about that a little bit
because,
more.
Okay, well, that's counterintuitive because a lot of people think, I'm going to show up on Sunday because these guys are going to sell everything cheap. They don't want to take it home.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Is there any truth to that?
Well, there is, to a degree. I mean, there's a little bit of gambling involved there, right? So if you're just looking to get anything for a good deal, like you don't care what it is, I'm sure you'll find something that was a better deal on Sunday than on Thursday. But let's say you're looking for a specific reel or a specific rod or whatever, or you're looking for 20-pound fluorocarbon, that's all I really need. They may not have any, that specific item. Maybe not the fluorocarbon, that's probably not a good example, but definitely we run out of stuff, and there's only so many of us there. I know that last year we were doing the Long Beach show. That was the last show last year. And one of the things that we found is that we didn't sell a whole lot of reels on Wednesday and Thursday. But that was by the end of the show on Saturday, we sold a ton of reels. We couldn't understand why. What was the difference, And the reason being was that some of the other booths had ran out of certain models. And then we ran out. So by Sunday come around, we didn't have any. Nobody had any, So like I said, it really depends on kind of what your angle is. Yeah, sometimes the last day you can get a better deal. But I would say if you're looking for a specific reel, a lot of times it's probably things that other guys are looking for as well, kind of something that's popular or things like that, or been hard to get a hold of. Maybe some of these jigging reels, I know they're going to be, sold out real quick, things like that. Jigging rods, going to be sold out real quick. So it really depends on what you're looking for. But I would say for me, especially, from our booth standpoint, is that we got 2 more shows after this one. So there isn't as much motivation to get rid of it, quote unquote, because we got 2 more shows.
Yeah, right.
Maybe another booth is only doing 1 show. Maybe they have that motivation.
Yeah.
And depending, maybe they have a lot of that specific rod back at the shop, so they're like, we need to get rid of these. We got 10 more at the shop. Yeah, go ahead and just give them a deal. But maybe this is the last 2 they have.
Yeah.
And they'll hold on to them because they can sell them back at the shop for regular price. So, you're kind of playing that game a little bit.
Yeah.
But to me, I always feel like the first day is the best day to get deals, not only for the specific item theory, but also there's going to be limited, just things that are limited. I know that Okuma, for instance, we didn't even get in on that deal early enough. But I just kind of spaced on it and didn't get on it. But they're discontinuing one of their conventional reels. Great reel, they're Tesoro, just basically like a Trinidad, that same style of reel. Really nice reel. They're being discontinued. They're a great reel. I'm pretty sure they're going to come out with something new. But I think Turner's, I saw an ad the other day, they're going to discount them $100. So I know they don't have an unlimited amount, and I bet you that the model you're looking for, you get there and they just ran out, because maybe there was only 10 of those left at the warehouse, whereas maybe another model, there was 50 of them left at the warehouse, so they don't have a bunch of those.
Yeah.
So things like that happen that are limited, and they're discontinued. So you can't special order it. You can't say, well, I'll get it the next show, because they won't.
They're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it really does depend on what you're looking for.
All right. Jeremy says, good evening, Phil and Sam. I was confused to see you guys have switched places.
New studio.
We always keep you guessing here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel, especially on Tackle Shop Confessions. David Jimenez says, and don't say the ocean to his kayak thing. We didn't answer that way. We gave you some real examples. Tony, good evening, everyone. Sam, is it true you ordered some Lexa 500s?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. I did get to see him here in the shop. The guy brought him in. Our rep brought him in to show them to us. Yeah, I ordered about 50 of them. I think they're going to sell real well. They're not, I wish I had one here to show you, but you're going to see them probably at the Daiwa booth here coming up at the show, and you'll probably be able to pre-order them there as well. As far as I understand it, they're not going to actually land until they're hoping they're going to be here for the PCS show March 1st. But I know that us and the other shops are going to pre-sell them based on what we ordered. But I don't have one here to show you the differences. But you'll see them at the show. They're a pretty cool reel. They're basically a wide 500. That's probably the easiest way to describe it. Which sounds kind of a little goofy, but they're not. They're not as wide as you would think. And the main difference, I would say, and that's going to be the common question: what's the difference between that and a Tranx 500? The Tranx 500 is a bigger reel altogether. It's a bigger handle. It's a bigger frame. And for some guys, that was kind of like a turnoff on that reel. I personally think it's fine, the size of it. But for some guys, they just didn't like the look of that reel. This Tranx 500 is going to be a lot closer to the 400, just a little bit wider. It has a little more drag. The handle, I think, is the same, but definitely holds as much line as the Tranx 500. So that's where it's going to put it kind of in the same class. But yeah, that's going to be a good one. I think if we get all the ones, we don't even know if we're going to get all the ones that we ordered, but I ordered as many as I could. But I venture to say they're all going to be sold out by the time that PCS show comes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Matthew Cruz says, put me down for a lefty on one of those.
Yeah, that's another thing, too.
Yeah.
That they're going to make him a lefty, which the Shimano does not come in a lefty. So, I ordered some of those, and, yeah, we'll have them. So if you want to pre-order it, come on down to the show, and we can do that. Although I think they might be doing some other kind of special at the PCS. I'm not really sure, but they'll let you know at the Daiwa booth what they got going on.
Do you know the dates of the subsequent shows? When's the next Bart Hall show?
So the next Bart Hall show is going to be the week of Valentine's. So it starts on the 15th. I think that's a Thursday. So that week, Thursday through
When's
Sunday.
Valentine's Day? The 14th.
14th, yeah. So that's on
Thanks for
the
reminding me
Tuesday.
about that.
Yeah. But during that week, it'll be Thursday through Sunday. And then the PCS show will be March 7th through the 10th, I guess. 7th, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 7th through the 10th.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I thought it was earlier than that. No, it's 7th through the 10th?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I might have to change a thing I've got going on. I screwed that up.
Uh-oh.
All right. I'll fix that later. All right. Rick Slater is absolutely right. He says triggers make great ceviche. Kudas are the best smoked fish you'll ever have. You're looking thinner, Phil. Well, thank you, Rick.
Oh, man.
Man, I like Rick. He's all right. And he's absolutely right on both those counts. I love smoked barracuda. Haven't had it for a while. It's good, though. You've had ceviche made of triggers?
Yeah.
They make it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Anthony says, what's good for halibut? I like a beer batter, crunchy, delicious.
Rice?
Sometimes
a little bit of rice on the side?
No, I don't like the rice. Carbs.
Oh, that's
Actually,
right.
I can't do the.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's talking about tackle, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Anthony.
By and large, it's going to be live bait. I mean, those guys that are getting them here that we're talking about, I think we're all, bounce ball or drift fishing on live bait, sardines, I'm sure, or small mackerel if you can get those. The other thing too that at least at the Channel Islands, they do real good at fishing those flukes. those big white 7-inch flukes, zoom flukes, and sudden impact flukes. Has been pretty much kind of the hot thing here for the guys that are really targeting a lot of that coastal halibut and sea bass.
All right, good stuff. Jeff Yeomans. Jeff, good to see you, buddy. He says, hello, Phil and Sam. Hope to see you at the show this weekend. Absolutely.
Come on down.
Yeah, we'll be there. Isaac says, hopefully get to see you guys at the show. Absolutely, Isaac. We'll look forward to it. Gabriel de la Trinidad. Good evening, guys. Do you have any blacktail circle hooks? Number 39944, number 4.
I believe so. I think those are the Mutsu circle hooks here in a size 4. I think they make them down to like a size 6 even. But yeah, I think we'll be taking those down to the show. If I remember correctly, should have grabbed them. If not, we'll make sure we grab them and take them down. But we have them here at the shop. We sell them all the time, and we should have them at the show too at a discount.
Is Blacktail at the shows?
No, I don't.
They're not there?
Think so. I don't think he's there. No.
Okay, he'll be walking around, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, Travis. Well, I think we answered that question. We've been bouncing Travis he's one of the guys that was right there on the original show, and then I screwed it all up. Omar, greetings. Jig stick for iron and yo-yo on a budget. Any recommendations?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things out there that are still available. I know that we have some of those Okuma 9-foot jig sticks. Shimano Terramore has a 9-foot jig stick. Even Daiwa, they have it in their Proteus line. They have an 8-foot 10 jig stick as well. So yeah, there's a couple there. Also too, you might even look at a CalStar 90J. Those rods are about, I think they're less than $400 for sure. And that's a legit, jig stick that anybody would call not even a budget jig stick, but just a really good jig stick, more of an old school style all glass rod. And we're going to be selling some blanks even at the show for making jig sticks too. So if you get a hold of a rod builder, something with a 90J blank, man, it should be very, very reasonable by the time you get that done. So those other jig sticks are going to be around 200 to 250. A CalStar going to be in the mid 300s, and then something custom made depending on who makes it. The most simplest way to make it, black on black, you could probably get something done for about $250 to $300, I would think, all in. So depending on where your budget is at, that's going to be the kind of range for something that I would consider a quality SoCal jig stick.
Excellent. Sal Garcia says, evening, fellas. Evening, Sal. I know Hookup Baits is doing a seminar at the show, but I was wondering about rigging up the bigger 8-inch baits. I noticed one of the baits doesn't come with a jig head.
So in the package there, let me go grab it, actually. In the package, they give you one rigged and one extra body. So one of the things that they've done with these style of baits here
Sam's showing off
is
our
that
mics. You can still hear them.
Yeah, is that they have one that's rigged.
I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, Sam.
I'm leaving.
I'm out of here, man. Had enough
So
of
that's
this.
going to be the one that's already rigged. It's ready to go. And so you catch a couple fish on this here, or maybe you go on a whole trip, maybe catch a whole limit of fish. You get back home, you want to kind of get this recharge for your next trip. They give you an extra body. You're going to just basically remove that lead head from the body and then put it on this new body. So they're giving you basically, instead of just giving you one, they're giving you an extra body to kind of recharge that thing and get out fishing again. So that's the deal with the extra non-rigged body.
Did you want one of those to drink?
Sure. What is it?
Huh? I always take care of you. What are you talking about?
Acai blueberry. Wow.
I saved you the good one.
Yeah.
Anthony says Native Sun. And Native Sun is running those great halibut derbies. They've got thousands of dollars in prizes. Mm-hmm. It's also bass derby at the same time.
Yeah, so it's like a 2-category thing, one for bass, one for halibut. And like I said, that halibut's already 25 pounds, man. That's a tough one to beat for sure. I know.
In fact, the day they had, one of these days they had like 6 fish, but they released 12. So they had good action.
Good fishing, yeah. And it's just getting started.
I know, yeah. It's going to get better and better and better. I can't believe, man, I mean, it's winter, and then we're a month away from talking about grunion runs, which is like the swallows back to Capistrano for us fishermen. Start talking about grunion run, or you see Barracuda, and we're getting back into the season early this year. It's amazing. I love it.
Comes quick.
Dan Smith. Hello, Phil and Sam, and all you fine fishing folks. Great to see you, Dan. Kim is at her auntie's tonight, cooking dinner all Canton style. I get coffee and you great guys. Oh, thank you, Dan.
Awesome.
You should be so happy that Kim is not there tonight. Graham says, "Hey Sam,
What's up, Graham? He was just here. Actually, he
was
a
he that
gentleman.
guy?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He works for United Composites down there, builds all their handles, and he's a rod builder himself. So he does a lot of jigging rods, actually. For you guys that are looking for something a little different, he's kind of has the I don't know, we'll call it a license to kind of have some creativity there at the blank making factory. And so he's brought, I don't know if that's something that I'm supposed to let people know,
Yeah.
but he doesn't do it, really that regular, but he's got a couple of buddies that he's been able to make some stuff. And actually, I think a few of the things that have now become popular has been as a result, in part, to some of his kind of tinkering around over there. So got a good understanding of blank design. He's kind of under the tutelage there of Randy Penny, which is, in my opinion, one of the the legendary blank designers here of Southern California. So he's definitely got a good teacher over there. And but besides all that, if you just want to get a regular Zeus or CXJ blank done up, for your jigging needs, that's kind of primarily what he does. He builds a lot of those things.
All right, good stuff, Graham. Good to see you tonight, my friend. He didn't say hi to me. He just said hi to you.
He doesn't know you.
He said, "Oh, yeah, he did." He said, "He called me Friedman." He didn't call me Phil.
Okay, no.
He
he was here. He was
Friedman.
talking about you. He didn't like you.
Oh, that. Hey,
But
Graham.
if you want to bring it up, that's not. I'm just
All
kidding.
right.
I'm just kidding, Graham. No, I wouldn't say that.
Graham looks when he reminds me of a UFC fighter or something. He's got that rugged look to him.
Well, right next to the factory is a UFC gym.
Really?
And he hangs out with those guys.
Oh, I believe it, man.
Yeah.
He's starting to act like those guys. He had that Dana White vibe coming off of him. Sean Strickland or whatever his name
I'm
is.
sure Graham would appreciate that. Yeah.
All right, Jay says, "Good evening. Love the tackle shop shows. Keep it up." Jay, thank you so much. That means a lot to both Sam and I. Labworks from Australia says, "Good day, boys. Good to see you, man." Sam, do you have the Lexa 500 yet? You've answered it, but maybe, he didn't hear it.
So those are coming. Now, I've already ordered them. They're supposed to land here. They're going to be air freighted. They're supposed to be landing first week of March. So as soon as they come in, we'll post them up. But I think we'll be pretty much headed down to the show, same like we are now, getting ready to get to the Long Beach show. But we'll be headed down to the Orange County Fairgrounds, their show, and we'll have them there for sure.
All right, Jay wants to know if the Tranks 500 PG, does it still have applications for the SoCal, San Diego fishing scene? Better to get the HG?
Well, I mean, it's kind of one of those where you kind of, depending on what you're doing type of thing, that PG is probably a little bit more of an all-around bait and maybe just surface jig, maybe for poppers or things, something like that would work okay. The PG is basically a slower gear ratio. That HD, the HG is a 6.6 to 1, and it's kind of what more people use, especially if you're using some of those stick baits that require a little bit more movement. For surface iron, I think you'd be okay with the PG. You'd have to be winding a little bit quicker to kind of give it some good action, but they're not that slow. It's a 4.6 to 1, so it's not super slow, but definitely going to feel slower than like your Trinidad 20 style reel. That's a 6.2 to 1. So the faster one is more on par with those, but definitely that PG doesn't mean it's out of place, but definitely a little bit slower. Now on the other hand, that PG is going to have a little more torque. So if you're fishing for big fish or maybe fishing bait and you're targeting big fish and you just want a little bit more torque, that PG, that's what the PG stands for, power gear, has a little more power.
All right, good stuff. D. Gomez, cheers, brother. Good to see you, my friend. Lexa 500, you've answered that, right?
You should buy one and give it away at the show.
Let's do it. Yeah, you give me one.
Yeah,
and I'll have Scott Bucher pay you. You trust Scott?
It's the hot item.
It is.
You get another 1,000 subscribers.
Well, they don't even have them yet.
You want me to get you one?
Yeah.
All right.
You won't get it, will you?
Yeah.
And I'll buy it and then raffle it off?
You'd be the first one.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm in. Can you get one?
I don't know.
You're just teasing me, man. I love it. Aaron.
You text my guy right now.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Hey, Sam, Aaron says, can we see an Akuma Alijos 12 and 16 and a Makaira 10 for size comparisons? Have a Makaira 15 that I love and want to go smaller, but I'm on the fence about it. So, Sam, can you handle that?
I'm trying to. I think we're out of the 10.
Are you sure about those dates for the PCS show?
100,000%.
All right. So I was touting that we're going to have a day at 22nd Street Landing here recently. Obviously, I've completely lost my mind. March 9th, we're not doing that anymore. No. We're doing it the next Saturday, which would be, I'm thinking the 16th right?
Yep.
Whatever it is, the next Saturday, March 16th. And we'll have free boat rides for the public on board the El Patron. So, Sam, you can bring the kids down, go on a
Yeah.
harbor cruise. It'll be fun.
I'm there.
And then we're going to do some.
Wait, March 9th? Oh, I cannot see it.
Not 9th. We're changing it. I'll put it out on Facebook, everybody. And I promise to make sure that people are going to think I'm back into the booze again or something, man. We got a lot of people watching this
What's
show
in that
tonight.
drink you gave me?
I don't know. Hey, there's no Monday Night Football anymore, is there?
Yeah, that's why people are watching.
Rock and roll. Bring it back.
What? A couple of games there, though. I don't know if you watched it.
Yesterday?
Yeah, both days.
Well, we were at La Fogata, so it was on, but I was,
Good.
Well, wait a
Pretty good
minute.
games.
The Lions won.
Lions won, yeah.
Was that a good game?
And 49ers, too. That they squeaked it out, too. The Packers almost got them, though.
Yeah, I did watch that game.
Yeah, that was
I
pretty
watched
cool.
quite a bit of that game. I thought the Packers looked good.
They look good.
In fact, before that game, Patrick bet on the Packers the week before they played.
Yeah.
Who'd they play?
Whoever they played.
It was a superior team, and people were like, "You're nuts."
I think the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was the Cowboys. So I called him. I go, "You on the Packers again?" And he goes, "No, 49ers are going to kill them." And about 10 minutes into the game, I sent him a text. I go, "Man, these Packers
looking good.
That quarterback looked very composed.
Jordan Love, he's looking good for a rookie for sure. Let's get to these reels here. So here's the 12.
Are you trying to rush me along here?
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you right now, the spool size, almost the same.
Identical.
To your 15T. If I had to guess, it probably has the same exact line capacity. So your 12 Alijos and your 15T are going to be pretty much identical as far as your line capacity. And that's kind of how we're going to rate these reels here. Overall size, the Macaira is definitely a little beefier, has a little fatter side plate. This is a three-piece reel where it has a center a frame and two side plates. And then also the frame, as you can see, you can kind of check that out, Phil. It's a little thicker on the Macaira.
Yeah, it looks like that.
So that being said, we're going to call this, even though it's the same line capacity, this is probably going to feel a little heavier and everything on it's kind of a little beefier. The next one down, in my opinion, is going to be that 12 narrow. So 12, same kind of diameter, but a little more narrow. Be the next size down. Unfortunately, I don't have the 10 Macaira. I do have the 5 Alijos, and I'd venture to say that the Macaira 10 is going to be about the same line capacity as this 5 Alijos. If I had to guess, if maybe one of you guys can do a little internet search for the capacity of the spool, I bet you that the gear ratios, actually, I think on the Macaira are going to be a little bit lower on that 10. So you might want to look at that as another option for a smaller reel. But this 5 from this Alijos is a pretty nice size reel too. So hope that helps you. I don't have the 10, so we can't really look at the whole thing, but definitely from the 12, you'd have the 12 narrow and the 5 as an option on the Alijos line.
All right, Aaron, hope that helps. Good to have you with us. By the way, everybody, do not go anywhere, because later on in this show, Sam will have the discounts that he is giving, and there may be secret words that you have to utter, like Phil Frieman is a jerk or something like that.
Yeah.
Isn't that one that you came up with last
Well, the
year?
only problem with that is that I have to give everybody a discount.
Everybody walks in the store and says
and
it?
go out of business. Yeah.
You're killing me. Stay tuned. He's going to have all the great discounts, and you're going to want to hear them. They're going to be fantastic. I guarantee it. All right. Let's see. There we are. Aaron, hey, Phil, is there any extra promotional codes or discounts if we drop your name at Opson or Daiwa? Shoot, I don't know. I'll have to look into that for you. I'll post something on Facebook tomorrow. Opson is just mention Friedman Adventures over there. Daiwa, I'm not sure about. I've got to talk to those boys. We'll see what we can do. But thank you so much for asking. Patrick Harnjack says, is that an electric wheel in the box today?
It is.
It's an extra big phone holder this week. You can never put a box there where Patrick and Sarah are not going to say, what the heck is in that box?
This is the Daiwa Tanacom 750. This is kind of their medium size electric reel. The 500, which is their small size, those are actually out of stock right now. Everybody asking me for those all the time. But the 750 is a real popular reel for guys that are going to be using it for both a kite reel and also a rockfish reel. But yeah, they have this in a 750. They have a 1000 size, and then they have the new round ones, which are kind of a little beefier. They have it in an 800 and 1000 size. So I wish I knew more about them to give you kind of a real, all these other reels, people always ask questions. I feel like I got these down as far as all the details about them, how much line they hold and all that kind of stuff. With this electric stuff, I'm still a little bit new to it. I know that there's a few differences with the different kinds, as far as like maybe one of them has more power, or maybe one of them will take certain kinds of batteries, or all that kind of stuff too. So I wish I knew more about it. I do know that the 750 is a pretty popular size though, and we're going to be taking those to the show and having them at a good discount.
All right, good. LabWorks over there in Australia says, yep, Tanacom is an electric. Jeremy, any SPJ blanks at the San Diego Bart Hall Show?
Yeah, we'll be taking some of those. I mean, that SPJ category, not as popular as the speed jigging category, which we'll be taking some of those as well. But I think that's what a lot of guys have been asking me about, if we're going to take of our CXJs or Zeus's from United Composites. We have the RC KJBs from the Rain Shadows. We have some of the AXJs from American Tackle. And then, the ones that people have been asking me for a lot have been the Phoenix ones, the 608s and 609s. We'll be taking those to the show and having them on sale too.
All right. Isaac wants to know, Sam, how's the hook selection looking for the show? I got to stock up.
We're going to concentrate really on bringing kind of like the greatest hits. We're bringing all the owner stuff and the Mustad circle hooks and J hooks. And then also those blacktail hooks, we're going to be bringing those circle hooks too, because those were kind of something people were asking for. They make them in a smaller size. And we'll be having them on sale.
Yeah. Excellent. Good stuff.
Also treble hooks too. Guys were asking us for treble hooks for making their kite rigs. We'll be bringing those. And also for re-rigging your jigs and your Colt snipers, we'll be having those too.
All right, good stuff. I mentioned Doug Tilk a moment ago. Doug's going to meet me at 22nd Street Landing, and we are going to get all of the donations down to the warehouse.
Nice.
Man, so we got a busy day tomorrow, Doug. Thanks for all your help on that. I deeply appreciate it. D. Gomez says all his legal halibut have come on hookup baits.
There you go. We didn't even mention those earlier.
Yeah.
I definitely put those in the mix too for your halibut fishing.
Yeah. In fact, Pat O'Brien, I don't remember how many he said they had on hookup baits, but it was a significant amount of the total fish caught were on the hookup baits up there on the Island Spirit, Island Spirit, right out of Cisco's. All right. Anthony says, watch, guys, I'm going to beat it. I'm going for 30-pound halibut. Hey, there you go, Anthony. That 25-pounder, man, Anthony's going to crush it.
I'm sure it's out there.
I'm with you, man. Do it, Anthony. Do it. Sniper Gene, Sam, will you have a United Composite CXJ 6005 and MCR 650 blanks at the big show?
So the MCR 650, I think you're talking about that jigging blank from them. I don't know if that's going to be coming from Moon, so that's Moon's Custom Rods. I think that's coming from him specifically. I don't know if we're stocking any of those. I'll have to talk to him, see if he might be bringing some of those down for us. That CXJ 6005, I think we have one or two that we have in our inventory right now that we'll be taking down to the show. So that's, once again, I was talking earlier about things that are going to run out. That 6005 is a popular one. That's actually what I caught my big 50-pound yellowtail on.
Shoot, yeah.
So I venture to say those would probably be gone the first couple hours. So yeah, we'll have them, but unless you're going to be the first guy there, I'm not guaranteeing you'll be able to get one or not. So yeah, make it down there if you can on Thursday.
All right, Graham says, thanks, Sam. He also says hello to Phil. Graham, you're getting on my good side again. Good job. I'm just kidding you, man. Charles Zimmer, did you happen to get any Kyle Star 8XH?
800XH. I think we might have one in the mix there. I did get one last week, but I think we sold it during the week, unfortunately, Chuck there. So I'm not really sure. We have been getting some stuff. They've been doing a pretty good job of trying to get my show stuff. And so hopefully we'll get another couple more. They're going to be delivering 2 of the show for us too as they come up this week. So hopefully we'll get a few more. But Chuck, I know that's a tough one, man. Hopefully we'll have it when you go.
Yeah, Chuck's always, proposing these impossible type of things.
I know.
Yeah, Chuck, that's not nice. That's Australia, we're going back to Australia. LabWorks, whom we love. Sam, you got to freight one of those babies to me here in Australia, and one of the Lex 300s in 8.1.
No problem.
You can do it?
As soon as we get them in, however we got to do it, we'll make sure we make a post on it, and we'll have to figure out a way to remember that LabWorks needs one of those things. We can definitely get them. I'm not sure what the shipping is. down there, shipping to Australia, I'm not really sure how that works. So that might be kind of a tough one for me to figure out. But I definitely will do whatever I can to get you one there.
All right, Robert Graver. Good evening, Phil and Sam and the Friedman Adventure family. Phil, have you booked any charters in the 805 this year? Not yet, Robert, but I definitely will let you know the moment we do. Matthew
Why not?
Cruz. Because I can't even figure out how to get on the right channel.
Man, this guy here.
Or schedule the right date at 22nd Street Landing.
Yes,
I got all
yes.
kinds of conflicting dates going on, so I'm all screwed up, Robert. Sam's right. I should just
You
admit
should.
it. I'm screwed up.
Yeah.
Please be patient with me. Matthew Cruz, any narrow lever drag in a left hand like the 15NX Fathom?
I think that's the only one that comes to mind. I mean, they still make it, so I'd say just get that one. That's a pretty nice reel, actually. But you might look to maybe some of those jigging reels. Kind of looking at the case here, see if I kind of spot anything. Also, too, Accurate. Accurate does make that 500 narrow. That would be about that size as well. But that 15 extra narrow Fathom, that's a hard one to beat.
All right, good stuff. Hey, hit that like button, everybody. Sam and I deeply appreciate it when you do that. Aaron says, beautiful, can't believe you pulled them out. That's great. You guys are the best.
No problem.
Oh, man, Aaron.
That's what we're here for, man.
That's right, man. Thank you. Steve says, congratulations, Philly. You're going to be a grandpa. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. Doug Tilk, hey, boys, the show is great. Why don't you have Greg Bates in the background?
You know what? I will
we need
say,
an elk back there.
I will say some of his little antics back there, I'm sure you guys coordinated and have it, but it's pretty funny.
I'm telling you,
I like
man.
it. Yeah.
Dude, I don't coordinate anything.
This is a straight out of like the 70s kind
Three
of
Stooges,
those.
or it's even further back than that. Right?
Yeah. It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. So he showed up with all his outfits at La Fogata yesterday. And every single person go, man, you crack me up.
Yeah.
Dude, it's some great stuff. Greg, I hope you're not getting too big ahead tonight. But everybody loves it.
The signs back there, the maracas and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I thought it was kind of cool. I mean,
we're all over Rosarito Beach looking for maracas the whole time, man. I find my gemelas that have the store, and I go, hey, yeah, and they had them. And so it's way too funny, man. Some of the stuff he does, and I have to go back and watch the show to see what he actually did.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to play like I'm completely oblivious to it all. And I mean, I'm not playing. I am completely oblivious to it. All right, Doug, I think you're right, man. We need Greg down here jumping around in an elf costume or something. Let's see. Valentine's Day is next, right? You can be in a Cupid shooting the arrows.
There you go.
That would be cute.
What kind of outfit that's going to be? I don't know.
Man, that's going to be something else. They'll probably get arrested down there. LabWorks 3-piece reel means you can blueprint them.
That's true.
Why don't you explain exactly what that means?
So blueprinting is a process, and I really don't know exactly to detail exactly what he does, but Cal Sheets. Cal Sheets 2-speed, which is kind of, what he's known for is doing his 2-speed, but now he's doing a lot of blueprinting. And basically what he does with that is that he takes all the different pieces of the reel that are required for you to use it, meaning that you're going to be able to put it into drag and the drag up and down and that kind of thing, and all the pieces that come to where even when you turn the handle, and he basically remachines them so that they're just to spec perfect, and the difference is, for some people, it really depends. When we get these reels out of the box, some of them feel better than others. I mean, that's just the facts. They all feel pretty good, and I'm pretty sure they have a QC process at Akuma, Daiwa, Shimano, everywhere that makes sure these reels get out and they all feel good. But every once in a while, you get one that doesn't feel as good. Well, with Cal Sheets, when he goes through them, he makes everything just so perfect that they feel like a better reel. They really do. Sometimes it's a free spool.
Is it costly to do it?
Is it costly?
Yeah.
I mean, not in my opinion. No.
It's worth it.
For me, it's worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where it costs whatever it is, $150 or $200 to make your reel potentially feel 20% better, maybe 10% better, and that's a little subjective. For some people, it's like, wow, this is 100 times better. And for some people, well, it's only a little bit better. So to me, that's definitely, I would go down to the Cal Sheets booth and really check out some of their blueprinted reels there. They usually have some on display there where you can kind of see them.
Are they there at the show?
I'm not sure if they usually are.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at the at the vendor list. but they normally are. And I know at the very least they'll be at one of the shows. But go to their booth and check out their reels. I don't know if they'll have a non-blueprinted and a blueprinted reel, but if you're pretty familiar with a certain reel that they do, and then go feel their blueprinted reel, I venture to say you'll notice a difference. I have some of mine done, and for me, it's worth it.
All right, good stuff. Robert Slagers, what is your favorite knot to tie on the hook for bluefin tuna, fly line, floral, and mono?
Either San Diego or clinch knot. I really, to myself, I know there's a lot of better knots out there, more modern knots, smaller knots, all that kind of stuff. But I go back to those 2 old knots that I've been using since I was a kid. And to me, a lot of guys ask me the same question, well, what's the best knot? And my answer is always the same. It's the one you know how to tie.
I agree, right?
To me, that's the main deal.
You start getting into a knot that you're not sure about, you don't tie it right.
If you're going to tie a new knot, go home and practice. If you're the kind of person that will go and is a perfectionist and will go and practice that knot 100 times before you go fishing, I venture to say you're probably going to do well with it. But if you aren't going to use it until that day, until you tie that hook on that you're going to go and cast a bait out and hook a 100-pound tuna on, you're kind of playing with fire.
Yeah.
So to me, if you know how to tie a knot real well and you're confident in it, I wouldn't change it too much. It's probably as good as anything else I could tell you about.
All right. Very, very good. Great questions, everybody. Sam, Dan Bates asks, is the Trinidad 16 narrow discontinued?
I did hear something about that. It doesn't surprise me. I don't think it's a reel they sell too much of. I think they still have quite a bit of inventory. Or actually, what was the guy telling me? He was telling me about it, and I think that he said that maybe Tackle Direct or somebody down in Florida or something like that bought out what they had left. But I think that you're right. I'm not going to say for sure. I don't have a paper here that verifies that. But for some reason, it does ring a bell that might have been discontinued.
All right, good stuff. Doug Till thinks that Greg should dress as a boneless chicken wing or a hot dog from the doghouse. By the way, give your review. I'll give my review on the doghouse.
Well, I've had it many times.
It was great.
I love it.
That was fantastic.
It's really, really good. Yeah.
And we bumped into some celebration going on there.
Yeah,
right?
I think somebody there was on TV, or their friend was on TV. They were cheering them on. So it was a big old crowd there.
Exciting.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. Yeah.
All right, yeah, Doug, I like it, man, but you're making me hungry. Stop that. Tony, hey guys, if you enjoyed the show, Tony, I love you. Hit the like button. Tony's right. Tony, if you see Sam at the show, he will have a free gift for you. I guarantee it.
Guarantee it.
Yes. Very good, Sam. It may be a date with Scott Bucher, but, he'll have something for you. Hey, Dan Smith says, congratulations, Phil and family. Dan, thank you so very much, my friend. Fish Guy. Hey, Phil and Sam, can Island Fishing Tqckle ship blanks or rods for those of us who can't make it to the shoe?
To the show, yeah. I will say this, it's going to be hard to get a hold of us during the show. Our sales that we have are kind of for guys that go to the show, so I don't want to guarantee anything like that. If it gets down, and all the shows are done mid-March, and we happen to have something there that we had on sale at the show, you give us a call and we'll see if we have it left. But to be honest with you, it's going to be hard to get a hold of us here during the next week or so. I venture to say you probably couldn't unless you were going to the show. You can send me a message on Instagram or Facebook, and I'll do the best I can to try to help you out. But I will kind of preface it by saying that it's a maybe.
Yeah, well,
it's a maybe.
Depends on where the guy lives, because I'm driving all over the place all the time. You can give me the rods and I'll take him to his house.
Well, yeah. If you're that close, yeah, I don't know. But
if you're between here and Rosarito Beach, I might be able to run into you one day.
You're in, yeah.
You can buy me lunch.
We're going to be doing the San Diego Del Mar show as well. So
there you go.
If you live down south, I'm not sure where you're at. If you live down south, you can definitely maybe work out something with Phil.
All right, Lab Works. I was just kidding. No, I'm not kidding. I'd be happy to do that.
Too late now.
Australia, Lab Works. Sam, I build a lot of rods for electrics here for deep dropping PE3 for blue eye cod.
That's cool.
How big are blue eye cod, man? That sounds bitching right there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I went there and caught coral trout.
Oh, yeah?
I'm sure he knows what that is.
Yeah.
You know what those are? It's like a rockfish.
Yeah.
Bitching. Great eating. Fun. I loved it, man. All right. Patrick Harnjack. So you're going to do the 22nd Street Landing thing on March 17th. Party with Phil on St. Patrick's Day. Free beer.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there's Greg's outfit, man. Come on, we're going to do, it's St. Patrick's Day. That's going to be awesome. Oh, man. Patrick, thanks for pointing that out. Greg, start looking for an outfit. Don't fool around. All right, let's see. Labworks, Matthew Cruz, the Saltiga 15 or 20 LD would work.
I think what he's talking about is the question earlier about a narrow lever drag left-handed reel. I don't know if the Saltiga comes in a left-handed in those sizes though, so that'd be the only difference.
Dude, we're almost caught up on the questions. We got tons of viewers. Don't go anywhere. Sam's got the discounts you're going to want to hear about at the Bart Hall Show. Starts this Thursday, runs through Sunday. Bart's a great guy. We need to get out and support him. But more than that, it's going to be a great show, and Sam's going to have that for you in a second. Cal Sheets, the master of molding reels or modding reels. Yeah, modifying reels, drag systems, balancings, and bearings. Yes, that is for sure. I want to run into him at the show. Isaac sends us $20, Sam.
There you go, Isaac.
Woo-hoo! Man, we're going to eat big tonight. Maybe. Thank you so much, Isaac. That is deeply, deeply appreciated by both of us. Jaime Castro, hey guys, great show. Is it true that the Talica 8 got discontinued?
I don't know about that one. I hadn't heard about that. As of right now, I don't think so. With the Talica line, one thing to kind of look out for is that they're redoing them. That 12 and 16 is already out. I think they're going to be probably working on the bigger reels next. The 20 and 25. But I would imagine that at a certain point, all of the Talicas are going to be the new Talica version, the Talica A. So in a way, yes, they're discontinued, but really only in the old format. I think that the new format, as far as I know, are going to have all the different sizes available.
All right, good stuff. Lots of people watching. Sam, they're tuning up. Hey, hit that share button. Send it to a friend. Tell them Sam's going to have all the discounts coming up here in just a moment. Steve Bermudez, who was at the La Fogata celebration. In fact, I think I saw him dancing with the elf out in the parking lot. I won't tell Susie, Steve. Susie was sick, couldn't make the event, so Steve took advantage of the elf. What can I tell you? If you can afford this Comic Con 750.
I think Tanacom.
Yeah, there you go.
It came up probably the voice.
Go up to 1,000 or 1,200 for more line capacity.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I think that 750 definitely has enough line capacity for sure. A lot of times these guys that are rock fishing with them are using lighter braid. They're using like 50-pound braid or something like that. And I think the 750 is going to hold, 700-800 yards or something like that. Maybe, I don't know, a lot of it, maybe even more than that. And that's 2,400 feet. 3,000 feet. I don't think we're fishing anything like that. So I think that 750 is pretty good, but he's right. That 1,000, I don't know if it's a lot more anyway. So maybe that just might give you a little bit more line to work with. But this 750 is pretty dang popular. But we have the 1,000 as well. You want to check that one out?
All right, very good. Patrick Harnjack, curious what the cost for the shows nowadays is. I haven't been to one since like 2008. You know what it costs?
It's not that expensive here.
No, it's really not.
Yeah, I can probably look. I was looking up the. Here's $20.
20 big ones.
Yeah, $20.
Which is a bargain nowadays.
Yeah,
you can't get anything for 20
It's a
bucks.
Big Mac,
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, a guy that I know told me, went to breakfast this morning. It was at Harbor House, down there where I live. He had steak and eggs, and he ordered an extra side of bacon and a cup of coffee. How much?
$42. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$40.
Yeah.
Jeez. Doesn't that sound like crazy or not?
It is.
Yeah. It's $40, man.
You can go to the show twice.
Yeah, there you are. That's why we
seniors are $15, military $15. $1,500 for free. So if you got a kid, they're free.
There you are, man.
No
Perfect
excuses.
thing to bring the kids to. That's a bargain, if you ask me. All right, let's see. We got Rick. Farewell. Hey, Rick, how are you, my friend? Thanks for being here tonight. For halibut drifting, Rick wants to know egg sinker to hook or plastic slider rig, bead, swivel, leader to J hook, and a trap rig, treble hook trap rig.
Yeah, I think that egg sinker works okay. Maybe some shallower water when you're using a little bit lighter sinker, or maybe a bigger bait like a squid or something like that. By and large, I think a lot of the guys that are doing the more drift rig with the fin bait, a sardine or something like that, anchovy, they're probably using more of the ladder where you have more of a slider rig. Doesn't have to have all of the stuff that you're talking about there, but that's the kind of rig you would use. And then maybe even a reverse dropper loop, just like if you're fishing sea bass, might be another way to go too. So if you don't want to have as much hardware, that'll work as well.
You know, those hookup baits, they got to work in the surf for halibut, don't they? Wouldn't they
I don't
work?
see why not. I mean, that it really kind of needs a little bit more slack in your line,
Yeah.
to really kind of have all the action. I know a lot of guys. I know guys that have caught halibut in the surf with them, but
I'll have to
yeah,
try
maybe
that
not.
out.
Yeah, give it a shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Raul. Hey, Raul. Good to see you, my friend. What's up, guys? Sam. So I have a GP Tilefish Junior and have a Fathom 15. What is it?
SDCS.
Thank you. Do you think they pair up well? If not, please help me. Got it, Raul.
Fathom 15. And just their standard one. I don't know about the CS. The CS is that casting special. That it's kind of a. I don't have one here handy. I'm not sure if I actually have one in stock. That casting special has a super fine tuning casting apparatus here on the right hand side, and it's kind of made for surf casting, is what it's for that long distance casting. But it's for long distance casting with a lot of weight. A lot of what we're doing, especially with a rod like that, is going to be either a small jig or live bait. So not really the CS. I probably wouldn't really say you need that one specifically. It would work okay, but I'd probably just stick with the regular 15. Fathom would be fine. But any reel in that kind of size factor, whether it's a Torium or a Saltist or a Seagate or even an old Sea Line, anything like that, Trinidad 14, any of those small form factor size reels will work just fine with that rod.
All right, Raul. What's up, guy? Oh, no, we just did that one. Emmanuel Navedo from Florida. Good to see you, Emmanuel. Good evening, guys. Hi from Florida. Cannot wait to head out west for some bluefin tuna action again. Man, me too. I'm ready. That 5-day trip in April, it's early in the year we got. But now that everything seems accelerated, I'm really stoked on that one, man. I talked to Brian. I don't know if you caught that. I was talking to him on the Independence when he was heading up the peninsula. And he said,
Brian Porter?
Yeah, no, Brian. No. You're screwing me up. Brian Pfeiffer. Brian Pfeiffer. I really need to get some sleep, Brian Pfeiffer, the captain of the Independent.
Okay.
And Brian went into a whole bunch of, the possibilities and, it sounded like bluefin, yellows on the coast, all kinds of great opportunities. So, hey, Manuel, why don't you jump on that? April 4th to the 9th on the Independence. Tony, mag cast control.
I think we were talking about the little side adjustment on the CS reel there.
All right, Omar says, "What's up, guys? Would it be better option, Tranks, 909 HJ, or Hacks?
Hacks.
Oh, a Hacks?
Yeah.
Or 909 heavy for yellowtail, 40-pound setup."
So those two rods are different. It really depends on kind of your style. That HJ is a reel that is just a little heavier. It's the jig version. They're both pretty nice. That they're both going to fish 40. I think for a straight jig setup, something you were going to cast 7Xs and 45s and just larger yellowtail jigs, I think I would maybe prefer the J. But the H would work just fine as well too. It's kind of maybe more of an all around setup 40-pound, where you could throw smaller jigs and bigger jigs. So I probably venture to say the H.
All right, good stuff. David Alcantar. Sam, would you recommend a Phoenix Megalodon 607 for the yo-yo iron target, forkies, Jorels, yellowtail?
The 607 is okay. In my opinion, maybe a little bit on the light side. But yeah, it'd probably be all right. I probably would prefer the 608 myself, or even the 609, depending if you're going to be like maybe Baja and fishing some bigger yellowtail. But that 608 probably be where I would go. But the 607, if it's going to be more of an all-around stick where you're targeting maybe small school fish up to maybe 25 pounds, I think you'd be okay with that too. So yeah, that's a pretty nice one.
All right, Tony, a man after my own heart, has a brilliant question. Do you guys notice that the bluefin tuna are getting smaller, not catching the big ones as a few years pass? Do you think a change is coming? Albacore? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Was there bigger fish a few years ago?
There was.
Kind of seems like, yeah, right?
So, I think there was definitely a better opportunity to catch a big fish a few years ago, but that doesn't mean that we didn't catch any of the more medium to large fish. We kind of have to qualify that. A big fish being over 100 pounds. We caught a lot of fish over 100 pounds last year, I was on a couple trips on the Nilo Am where we averaged 150 pounds. So to me, I would consider that extra large for sure. I know that sometimes, when we compare this and the opportunity, once again, at the beginning of the show, we were talking about how great fishing is, and so now we look at this, it's like,
Yeah.
well, the fish are getting smaller, they're barely pushing 100. It's like, that's a pretty darn big fish, so not to reduce your comment there, but the fish that we've been getting, anything over 30 to 40 pounds locally on a day and a half, 2-day trip, I would consider a prize fish.
Absolutely. But in
Um,
Tony's defense, I think he's just trying to point out that he's hoping there's a change in the
Yeah.
air or in the water
I hope not.
with albacore coming.
Yeah, those things can stay away as long as I'm concerned.
They can join the party.
Yeah, the last time we had albacore, it was because we had 3 years of nothing, and we're just hungry for anything. And when the albacore showed, they saved our butt, But
Tony,
they're definitely a lot of fun.
I know what you're thinking. Can't we just all get along together?
Not with the albacore, no.
The bluefin and the albacore. Can't
Yeah.
they just
Once the albacore show up,
in peace?
then you can
and
go back to
harmony?
China.
Well, then you have a yellowtail bite on the
Yes, that's
horseshoe.
what we need. Yes.
Israel de la Cruz says, good evening, Phil and Sam and the Friedman Adventures family. Israel, always good to see you. Hopefully we'll see you at the show. Phil, how's the albacore prediction doing? Have you done one yet? I have not, Isaac.
Scaredy cat.
I did hear from Tom Holland, who is in contact with the South Pacific boys, and what this has to do with the local albacore bite, I don't know. But they're already talking about going home. Fishing is so good, and they've had
How
some
far are
tough
those
fishing.
fish?
They're like 500,000 miles away. How far is the moon from here? 2,000 miles?
They're half as
I
far.
got- yeah,
Yeah.
like that. 1,000 miles. They're more than that, actually. There's really great South Pacific albacore fishing going on for some guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the albacore. I might as well make a fool of myself here. I do it all the time,
Yeah.
right? Every morning on the morning briefing and everything else. I'll come up with one of those here shortly. All right, Isaac. I'm sorry. Steve Bermuda. Steve, do you have any deep drop ultraviolet lights? He wants to use them with the elf at night.
I don't think I have any. And I'm not sure if I'm taking any to this show, to be honest with you. I do think that some of the guys that are going to be going to the PCS show are taking a full gamut of that stuff. They're going to have a whole booth full of swordfish or oriented tackle. So that's probably where I would head to go down there, and then they'll probably have some decent deals on those. But I don't think we'll have them ourselves.
All right, very good. I think we've got a little break. And folks, don't go anywhere because the most exciting part of the show is here. I leave and you all get to go to sleep early. No, you have some great deals. Why don't you hold on to your questions if you have any? And Sam's going to tell you what kind of deals he's offering at the Island Fishing Tqckle booth at the Bart Hall show. I'll let Sam take it away.
So, there's a whole list of stuff here, kind of some of the big things that we have is just the availability of some stuff here. That's kind of gonna be kind of a cool deal. We have a bunch of CalStar blanks that we're bringing. Pretty much almost everything we have. Well, I shouldn't say that because we have a ton, but we'll probably bring a good selection of what we have every day to the show. We just can't fit it all in one booth, but we'll be bringing it every day, and all those blanks are going to be as much as 20% off, which on CalStar is, man, that's huge because they're hard to get, So typically we bring them every year and we do like a 10% off, and they sell quick just because guys have been waiting for them, So they just pick them up no matter what. But this year we are bringing some stuff, and it's going to be as much as 20% off. The graphite or blanks, anything that's graphite is going to be 15% off, but all of our glass blanks, all of our jig sticks are 100Js or 540s, 90Js, 530s, even our regular bait, glass stuff, 278Hs, 678 foots, 270s, all that stuff is going to be 20% off, which, for you guys that are blank shoppers, know how much, everything's gone up. Everything's got rods have gone up, reels have gone up, even guides, buying guides used to be something you used to buy a guide set for $20. Now that same guide set costs you $30. On these glass blanks from CalStar, a lot of those, they're pretty dang reasonable to begin with. They're $120, $140 regular retail.
Really?
Regular retail price. And then with the 20% off, they're going to be under $100.
Whoa.
For some of these CalStar US made, right here in Gardena, handmade blanks.
Damn, that's a hell of a deal.
So I think that's going to be a cool deal for you guys that are looking to stock up on a few blanks. I think that's going to be a really cool deal. That's just on CalStar Seeker. Anything
Yeah,
that we
because you
have?
can't get a steak breakfast with an egg
I
for
know.
less than $40.
For 2 breakfasts, you got a blank. Yeah.
There you are.
Seeker blanks, 25% off. Anything that we have in stock, I got a couple racks full of that stuff. Graph Tech, which is already known as a kind of a entry level, good price point rod. We're doing those 25% off. I don't have a ton of those. In fact, this first show, we're kind of going to clear out what we had here in inventory at the shop already. If we sell out, I talked to Rick Ozaki, and he said we can pick up some more stuff there at the show if we need to. So, but for right now, what we have in stock, we're going to be doing for a good deal. Rain shadow blanks, which Bill Batson was kind enough to give us a great deal on some blanks. Good stuff too. 7.5 foot, 8 foot, 25 pound to 100-pound blanks. All his most popular stuff we're going to be selling at 40% off. So that's pretty much cost. For you guys that know about how much this stuff costs. That's pretty much wholesale cost on
deals,
these blanks.
man.
They're going to be 40% off.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that's going to be good. Phoenix rods, super popular. We're going to be having them there at pretty much 20% off just about everything. And then United Composites, which is kind of regarded as the premier blank and rod company here in Southern California. Randy Penny has made, a company and brought something out that really everybody regards as kind of like the newest technology, the newest stuff that we have available for Southern California fishing. We're going to be selling that stuff at 25% off. We're kind of letting the cat out of the bag here. I know that, some of our competitors are probably going to go in there and say, well, we're going to sell them for this much less. Who knows? I don't care. But it's a price that we've never had. Those things, once again, is kind of like the CalStars. They're typically hard to get, but Randy's been good with us and kind of loading us up to be able to have a good selection there. Normally Randy's has a booth there at the show, and so he supplies us through the booth. So he's there, giant booth with a whole bunch of stuff, and we're just getting stuff all day. Well, this time here, he's not going to have a booth, so we pretty much had to kind of like onboard everything and get everything stocked up for it, because we're going to bring everything to the show now, and have to have our overstock here at the shop. So we're going to have to go back and forth, which makes it a little harder. So we basically had to just buy more stuff to make sure we had it. So we're pretty well loaded up. And for the show, we're getting a really good deal for you guys and passing that on at 25% off. So hope you guys are able to make it. Once again, that's going to be one of those items, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, that if you're looking for a specific blank, I know certain blanks, people have already kind of hit me up. I think that we're going to run out of some stuff right away. But we have a lot, we have a lot. I'm sure we'll have something for you. Come and see us about that, So that's just kind of a start there on the rods and blanks. On the
is there any secret password or anything, or you just automatically get the discount?
Automatically, if you make it down to the show, you're getting a discount.
Okay. Beautiful.
It's so crazy there. Honestly, you were there last year and you tried to hit me up for a little talk, and I was like, it's crazy.
No way.
I mean, I got 10 guys at me, like, what's this? What's this? I feel like I'm selling stock at the stock exchange or something. It's just so crazy, At times, it's not like that all the time, every day, but it always seems like
it's crazy.
At moments, it's just nuts,
Yeah.
Which is what we love, I mean, the show is
absolutely,
people are fired up and excited, and we want to answer everybody's questions. I mean, that's kind of my nature. Is a guy comes in, he says, "Well, I just bought this reel at so and so booth. What's a good rod for it?" And I'm not just going to say, "Well, buy this one." I'm going to give them 5 or 6 options. Like when guys here ask a question on the show, they say, "Well, what's a good rod for this?" And I always have 5 or 6 options, because I think it's important to kind of like lay out the different options that are available.
Sure.
So when guys come in, and you can imagine one after another, before you know it, guys get backed up, and then I'm answering 4 or 5 questions at once. And
I know.
It's probably my own fault. I should just give them the one-word answer, but that's just not in my nature.
Good.
And I try to give them as much information. So
100%.
It gets pretty crazy. Yeah. So no secret word.
All right, no secret word,
that,
everybody.
Yeah. So Nomad too. We're gonna have all the new Nomad baits. They have that. Obviously the Mad Max, which was popular a couple years ago. We got a bunch of those. I think everybody does. We'll be doing those, buy 2 get 1 free. And then for you guys that are doing long range fishing on the Wahoo, the DTXs, which is pretty much the #1 Wahoo trolling jig, on most boats, we're doing those, buy 2 get 1 free. Hard baits, we'll be doing our casting baits, stuff like your Zuri stick baits or poppers, things like that. That's all buy 2 get 1 free, which pretty much it's like 33% off. That's pretty dang good price. We got some lead heads, like those get some heads that guys use for fishing halibut, sea bass. We'll be doing those buy two get one free. So I think that's going to be another one that I think we're going to run out of too, along with the cool baits, which is kind of like your spotty for you guys that are doing that spotty fishing. They're kind of a bait that has or lead head that has a little trailer on the bottom there, a little spinner, and we'll be doing those buy two get one free as well. So a lot of that buy two get one free. I mean, half the booth is buy two get one free.
Wow.
So that's pretty dang good, and that kind of leads us right into the next part of it.
And by the way, I'll tell you guys, I see your questions. We'll answer those after Sam finishes here.
So our hooks, that we just mentioned earlier, all of our, top-notch, treble hooks from Owner, from Mustad, our bait hooks, Owner and Mustad, Blacktail, all buy two, get one free. Those are a good deal too. You guys got to come in and load up on those because once the season comes, it's the same thing. Do you have these? No, we're out of them. But maybe you could try this or maybe you could try that. So at the show is where you should load up. It's your best deal there. Fluorocarbon. We'll be having AFTGO Cycle Fluorocarbon, which is really good. I've been actually using that the last couple of years. I really like it a lot. That and also the Seagar. The Seagar buy two, get one free. Now with the Seagar, we got from them these fluorocarbon holders. I don't know if you remember those or not. They're little neoprene type little, it holds 3 spools. So you'll buy two, get one free. So basically you're buying 3 spools. One of them's free. And then you'll get one of those free leader holders as well. Now those we only have so many. I have a feeling we're going to run out at this show. I don't think we'll run out the first day, but I think by the end of this show, we'll probably be done with those. So the subsequent shows, Del Mar and PCS, I don't think we'll have those fluorocarbon holders anymore. And I talked to Seagar last week to see if they had any laying around, because that was such a good promotion. I think guys really like that.
Yeah.
And it was a good value. Those things probably, easily sell for $20. But no, they don't have any at all. So that's it on that. So I think we mentioned our knife jigs buy two going free. Anything that we have trolling wise, which I was mentioning too, with the Mad Max and the DTXs, that's going to be buy two get one free. Pretty much all of our rod building stuff we're taking down. Almost everything is going to be 25% off your epoxies, your grips, reel seats, most of the parts on your machines, your tools, almost all of that's 25% off. We'll see what we do for the machines. I know we get hit up a lot on the machines, but we do have some of the Alps, which is what we use here at the shop. Same machine we've been running and probably wrapped, 500 rods with it already. Still running strong. We'll probably selling that same machine there for a pretty dang good deal, about 25% off. So that pretty much runs down most everything we're gonna have.
Man, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, we got some kill bags as well from Deckhand Sports. I don't have that on here for some reason, but they're doing it's about 20% off on their kill bags as well. And I think we got like 5 or 6 of each size for the show. But those things are great. It's you know what a kill bag is. They're giant. And one of the things that they did is that they put an inner liner on the inside, which makes it so that they don't leak. So if you happen to carry that in the back of your truck or SUV, rest assured you won't have a smelly SUV the next day if you're coming back from a trip or something like that. So that's going to be something. He gave us a good deal on those. We'll be having those in our booth as well. So that's most of it. I think I'm forgetting some stuff. I know AFTGO. Actually, that's another thing I should mention is AFTGO. They're going to be kind of working with us at the show. They're going to have a large portion of our booth, kind of a one whole wall almost, and they're bringing in all of the fluorocarbon, all of their new jigs that they have, and all that stuff's going to be buy two get one free. And also, I asked them to bring down some of their fall weather gear. So they have a new bib and jacket that's already a kind of a price point, good price jacket and bib. I think they're $120 to $150 depending on the item. And we're going to be doing those, I think, not buy two one free because you wouldn't buy 3 bibs, but I think 25% off on those.
Oh, wow.
And then even, I think they had some clearance sweatshirts, and they're really nice, actually. We sold some at the show last year. They're really, really nice. I think they changed the color on them or something like that. So they're bringing the other stuff that's already discounted. I think they're down to like, I don't know, $40 or something like that. I mean, something that sells for like $100, they can be down to about $40. So I think that's going to be cool. So something I wanted to kind of mention one more thing. It's not going to be in our booths. We're not selling it in our booth, but a gentleman for this is a guy that you need to bring on your show, actually.
Yeah.
Scott Manson. He's a
That name sounds familiar.
super cool dude.
Yeah.
He's a soccer coach, for the kids, and I think it's a guy that's going to get a lot of attention here coming up. He's actually going to have a booth at the show, so maybe you should hit him up about doing something. But
is he the guy with the Tatty book?
yes,
He was on Danny's show.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So that book is going to be available at the PCS show. That's when it's going to land.
Right.
It's on the way in on a boat, and it's supposed to be here. He says he hopes it comes in. He says he's kind of a little concerned right now, making sure it gets here on time.
Yeah.
But you know how that goes with timing. You
Yeah.
just never know. But I already told him I want 2 copies. Honestly, it's such a cool idea. The amount of as a jig fisherman, not everybody's a jig fisherman, and I know that's not everybody's cup of tea. But for a guy who grew up with that being the thing that he wants to do, one day when my shoulders don't work no more, that's what I'm going to hurt the most, is not being able to jig fish.
Yeah.
To me, I mean, I'm going to do it till the day I can't do it anymore. But what he did as a labor of love to put this book out, and the way he described even the quality of the cover and the
He went all out.
He went all out, man.
Yeah.
This thing is an awesome piece. He's going to have them for sale there. I was kind of trying to goad him into pre-selling them at the Long Beach show.
That's a good idea.
Just so I could buy a couple, man. I just want to make sure I get a couple. I mean, so for you guys that are jig enthusiasts, make sure you come down to the show and talk to Scott. He's going to have some information on the book, and I think he said he's going to bring the Tatty collection, which that alone
is worth.
That's a museum visit
Yeah.
right there. For us, like I said, us jig guys. I mean, you're never going to see that much history of Tatty in one place ever again. So, for you guys that come down to the show, make sure you don't miss it, man. That's going to be an awesome thing. I'm going to make sure I get down there, even with all the things I got to do. I'm going to make sure I don't miss it either. And I'll probably see them at all shows too. I'm going to go back probably a few times. That's a pretty cool experience. I think you guys should go.
All right, good stuff, man. Yeah, looking forward to that. All right, Shino1 says, "Hey Sam, Phil, just tuning in. Good to have you with us. Wondering if you guys have thoughts on tipping the crew. Is there a percentage of the ticket fare that should be given?" Thanks, John G. John, thank you. Good question.
Yeah,
20%.
Yeah, it's pretty
Right?
much whatever you give at a restaurant. If you're the kind of guy that gives $5 on $100, bill, then that's probably what you're going to give it there. But typically, guys are going to give, like Phil said, 15 to 20% is super common. If you find that the guys are doing a good job, and by and large, most of those guys are really
Busting
have
their
stepped up their
tails.
game, these last, decade or so, to make sure they're giving good service. 20% is probably more common. And it sounds like a lot. You get into a trip, it's $5,000 trip. You think, man, it's $1,000.
It's $1,000.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And these guys, you got to figure $5,000 trip is probably like a 10-day trip. That's $100 a day. It's really not that much. These guys are working their butts
and
off.
there's 9 of them or whatever.
Yeah. You're not giving every single
$10
crew member
a day for each guy.
You're not giving every crew member $1,000. That's for the whole crew. So,
Yeah.
including the crew, the galley, and everybody else. So I think that's something to think about as well.
Let me ask you a question. If you were on a boat and the crew totally sucked, terrible,
Yeah.
would you tip?
I mean,
Do you tip your waitress when she sucks? I pretty much still do.
I still do.
It bugs me too.
yeah.
Why I shouldn't give you anything but
I'm probably going to round it down, so
Like
to speak.
15 or something, yeah.
So if it ends up being $82 would be 15%, I'd probably give them $80 or something like that.
Yeah.
Just to kind of make a point, almost like, hey, you need to kind of step up your game a little bit. But by and large, that doesn't happen too often to me.
It doesn't.
So
I haven't had it happen in a million years.
Yeah, I don't think that's something that happens too often. But if it were to happen, that'd probably be the approach I would take. I'd probably just round it down a little bit, but never going to not tip. I don't think so. I mean, they're still working. They're still got to provide for them, and they kind of, their job compensation is kind of centered around those tips to a degree.
Oh, hell yes.
Most of these people are. So I think it's kind of unfair to kind of cut it out completely, but definitely, I want to make sure I'm also rewarding somebody for doing a good job, and that's when you're going to give 20 or 25% depending on what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's at all levels, from the half day boat to a long range. But I think you need to take that into consideration. Yeah.
Good question, by the way. That shows me you're a caring person, John. Omar says, will you have any GFGR 800L at Bart Hall?
So that'd be the completed rod. Gosh, I think that we did have some of those. I think we did. I don't know for sure. But whatever we have in CalStar as far as built rods, I think we're going to have it all available almost every day at the show. So come on down and ask us. I'm pretty sure we're going to have it.
All right, in Australia, LabWorks says UC are decent blanks. Isaac, Sam, what's your ballpark price on building a blank?
On wrapping a rod, I think is what he's asking.
Yeah.
I think. Roundabout price, you're going to be between $12 to $25 a guide for labor, about $25 to $40 for your handle labor, and then after that, it's just going to be parts. So that's the roundabout price. So you want to multiply that however many guides you have, and usually the $25 is going to be for maybe cork tape handle or something like that, like very simple. $40 is going to be more on the end of maybe building like a call it a railrod grip or something like that. Your parts can range anywhere from $50 to $350 for parts. And so that's the range. It's a pretty big range. I know it sounds like I'm not really, nailing down a price, but that's the range. You have a trout rod with 5 guides. It's going to be one price for the parts. You have a rail rod with titanium guides. The first guide alone might cost more than all the parts on that trout rod.
Yeah.
So it really it's kind of a question that's kind of broad. It's kind of like going to a restaurant and saying, how much is your food? It's like, well, is it just you having a glass of water, or are you bringing 10 people to eat, and
or you having steak and eggs with
everybody having
bacon.
prime rib, yeah. So there is kind of a range, and it's a pretty broad range, so, but that's going to be, if you wanted to kind of look at we'll just call it an 8-foot bait rod, and with, kind of like a guy that's of a good quality, but not real high price, and a simple wrap, something like a 2-color wrap with some inlays, and a real seat and hypalon. You're probably looking at $250, something like about there for labor and parts. Is going to be a roundabout price, but it can range down to $200 to $500 for that too, and that's on top of the blank. So yeah, it's a pretty big range. I think if you come down and we look at some stuff, and even you can come down to the show. If you come down to the show, you look at some stuff, we can kind of talk about what those differences are and what you're paying for. Sometimes you're paying for, kind of like we've said it before, it might cost $100 more for that next level of quality, we'll call it, but you may not need it. It might be more aesthetic, differences. And if you're building a custom rod, that might be your deal. You want it to look really, really nice, and you want the nicest looking guides. Well, that's going to cost you a little bit more money. You have standard looking stuff. To me, it's functional and it'll work just fine.
Yeah.
And if that's okay with you, then you're going to save some money there. So definitely some different variables involved with that.
All right, Isaac, thank you for the question. Thanks for your kindness and generosity tonight. We really appreciate that. LabWorks says, blanks here in Australia are super expensive. Raul Alvarez says, thanks, Sam, for the info on the Fathom 15. I also have an Alejos 5. What's your opinion?
Yeah, great reels. That's the one we were checking out there earlier, that small one, that Alejos 5 there. Nice, I would say 25 to 40-pound test on that thing. You probably fill it up with some 50-pound braid, probably get about 400 yards on that guy there. And it's a kind of a general gear ratio, 6.4 to high, 3.8 low, so it's like a 6 and a 4, kind of standard on a reel of that size. But yeah, great all-around reel for like 25 to 40-pound tests.
All right, good stuff. Tony wants to know if we have any Daiwa specials. Tony, I got to figure that out, man. I'll get in touch with those guys tomorrow. I'll have it on the morning briefing. Not tomorrow, obviously, because that's just a few hours away. But I will get you that information. I promise you that. Chet Young. Do you know Chet?
Yes.
Great guy.
Yeah, he's got the...
he had a travel business.
Yeah. He's come in a few times.
Yeah, Chet, it's always good to hear from you. Sam, coming in for the Long Beach show. Hope to see you folks. You're not too busy. Oh, Chet, we always have time to spend with you. Really looking forward to it. Any deals on sunglasses?
Yeah, so Costa...
Isaac.
Costa is going to be working with us there. We're going to have a rack of glasses in our booth. And also Costa is going to have a rack of glasses of our sunglasses, well, Costa sunglasses, but that belong to us, in their booth as well. And so if you visit them to kind of like check out the technology in the different ones, they might have something from our rack there. We're doing 25% off on those. I didn't list that. I got to add that there. But we're
See, there's a reason you do this show.
So 25% off is going to be the price discount on the Costa sunglasses, which is pretty darn good because those things are a little pricey, but they are of a super high quality. That's pretty much the only sunglasses I wear now, and they're very, very comfortable. And their technology and their film is just so good, man. So definitely come down and check them out. We'll have those on sale.
All right, good stuff. Omar, Sam, how many setups do you normally take on a day trip to 2 day trip?
Well, if it's going to be targeting tuna and there is a night bite going on, you're going to take about 10 rods, I would say. Yeah. You're going to take your daytime stuff, 20 to 40 pound test, 20, 25, 30, 40. That's 4 rods right there. Maybe a sinker rig, 50, 60 pound. It's going to be 6 rods. I always take a jig stick, so that's 7 rods, and then maybe a jigging rod. That's going to be 8, and maybe a couple heavy rods for nighttime fishing. So that makes it 10 real quick. Just taking one of each size.
Wow. If you were just getting into the game, what would be the minimum you think you'd get away with? 4?
10. Yeah, I'd say, there's definitely some setups where you can maybe put different size top shots on them for the application. Like I was saying earlier, like this little guy here will probably take care of your 20 to 40 pound on that one alone. Something like this might take care of your, like, let's say 50 pound or 60 pound. And then you'd get maybe like international or something like that. That would take care of your big stuff for nighttime. So really, you can probably get away with like 3 if you really push it. The one thing you're going to have to do is really be on top of making sure you have all of your fluorocarbon to change your leader as it's needed. So typically, you don't change it that often. What ends up happening by and large is you take all the rigs, and on that particular trip, they're biting 25 pound. And that's all you use all day, or they're biting 40 pound, and that's all you use all day. You don't really know till you get there, so you got to have to kind of bring it all.
Yes.
But by and large, you only use a couple rigs during the day. At night, you're typically just dropping a jig. You're not doing much more than that, so you can kind of get away with a little bit less. But you're going to have to be changing and doing a lot of kind of game time decisions as to what you're going to tie at the end of your spectra. So you can make it with less, but if you've been fishing for a long time, you got 40, 50 rods at home anyway. So taking 10s. Usually the hard part is picking which 10 you want to take.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, right now, hit that like button, please.
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
I want you to hit that. Oh, yeah, you hit that like button too.
How many you got now?
560,000. I don't know. It doesn't show up on this. What do you got?
I was in a mess with you, but that's no fun.
Yeah, it doesn't show up here, so you can't screw with me tonight.
It says 10.
I know. It stops at 10, and then that's it. What is it?
It's like 50 or something like that.
All right. Well, 50 is pretty good. We want 100, though. Come
100.
on, you guys. If we can get 100 tonight, Sam will give you more free stuff at the show. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
All right. David Alcantara is starting to feel really ill.
Oh, man.
He's getting the flu.
Yeah, you got to watch it.
He thinks he's going to have to call in sick to go to the show.
Show-initis.
David, I second that. Not that I want you to get sick, but you should go to the show. He thinks, man, if I don't take advantage of all these deals you got going, I'll be losing money. Yeah, this is the time to do it, because when fishing gets going, as you said, and things are crazy, man, you're not getting discounts at that time.
Yeah, the hard part about that, that time of year is just having it.
Yeah.
Just running out of stuff. And that's usually the hard part. We have to look to this distributor, that distributor. Like, what do you got? What do you got? We're just trying to get stuff in, So, yeah, I mean, on the one hand, just having it, that's kind of a good deal. And then you're just never going to see these prices again. So I think it's the right time to come and spend money. For sure.
Steve Bermudez, I like this idea in a way. I'd have to pick his brain a little bit and see what he's talking about. Hey, Phil, how about doing an after show wrap-up segment? So, I mean, I've seen guys do that before. Howard Stern used to, or no, he had all those idiots that worked with him used to do the wrap-up or whatever it was. I don't know.
Like a play-by-play or something? I don't know.
We're usually running for the chicken play.
I know.
We can do it from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve, you're going to have to be a little more specific. Patrick Harnjack, if someone wants to have the best chance to talk to Sam and get the best in-person advice, when would be the best time to go to the show? What are the show times? The best time would be over at the chicken place when we're having dinner. Boy, that's a good question.
So at the show, typically at the end of the day.
Yeah.
As far as that.
What time's the end of the day on this show?
7 o'clock. Yeah, 7 o'clock. I think
God, that thing used to go till 10, didn't it? Does it go to 10 on the weekend?
No, actually, I think it goes till 5. Where'd it go here? I had it, but you're gonna have to put a link up on your Oh, here it is right here.
Come on,
I
Sam. We've got
think
people that are.
it goes to 7 every day except for Sunday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So 12 to 7, 12 to 7, 10 to 7, and 10 to 5.
Man, I would have died for that. That
Yeah.
sounds great.
So yeah, I mean, I would say at the end of the day is probably your best chance. It'll slow down. I mean, Friday probably your best day. Maybe I don't know. Maybe even Thursday. I don't know. But yeah, that's going to be your best day. I would say come down Thursday. You know, if you wanted to pick one day, and sometimes you just kind of have to hang out. You know, because
Yeah.
everybody has the same idea. You know, they come down and they just want to talk, and I'm terrible at just kind of like shutting somebody down. You know, so I'll talk to them for half an hour if there's nothing else going on. So if you come down and see that I don't have a line going out ringing people up, just you can kind of come down and butt in, and usually I can help anybody out. But I would say that probably at the end of the day, that's going to be your best. At the very beginning, if you're like the first guy in line and you come down, sometimes that's not a bad time either. But I would say at the end of the day is going to be your best chance.
And if worst comes to worst, come back to Island Fishing Tqckle someday after. But yeah, hopefully you'll be able to get Sam's ear there. All right, Steve Bermuda says, did you see the wild weather down in San Diego? Scott, I think Scott was telling me all about it, that people were in their kayaks going down their streets.
Really?
Yeah, TJ got decimated.
Oh, you were saying
I had
about
some
that.
people sent me some video of that. Looked bad down there, brutal. But Scott was saying, yeah, I was kind of busy, so I wasn't paying attention to him. I was like, oh, yeah. But I do remember him saying guys were in kayaks and something looked like a lake.
Wow.
So I guess, yeah. El Nino, man.
That's happening.
Can I tell you? Steve P. Hey, guys. What Steve is that?
Steve Puckett.
Oh, Steve. Yeah. Is he showing up again tonight?
I think.
Hit that like button, says Balboa Fish Group. Thank you so much. Labworks says 55 likes so far. We need more than that, man. There's a lot of people watching this show tonight. Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate it. Tony, Sam, J hooks or circle hooks, if you had to choose only one style.
If I was going to choose one style for the rest of my life, I guess a circle hook, only because at times you need it. I don't think you need it all the times, but there are times, especially when you're dealing with big fish on relatively light line. Sometimes when you get fish that are bigger than the size of line you're using, I think definitely a circle hook isn't a bad idea if you're going to be on a fish for more than 20 or 30 minutes. I think it's the way to go because you hook a fish a corner of the mouth. But
which prohibits, or not prohibits, but
helps.
Reduces the fact that they might chew through the line.
Yeah. And that's the whole deal with the circle hook.
Right.
Do you need it all the time? No, you probably don't need it 80% of the time. You really don't. But the times that you do, you kind of have to have it. So if you had to choose one, I'm going to choose the one that sometimes you got to have.
Did you not like the drink I got you tonight? I haven't seen you take one. Oh, wow. I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Oh, show that to everybody so they know I'm a big jerk.
Look at that.
Okay. Thank you.
Steve's the greatest. I mean, Phil's the greatest guy ever. He came in and gave me this drink, and I drank it. And that's about it. Yeah. Everybody who was wondering about Phil, he's the greatest. And if you come down, he's going to have a case of these things.
Yeah, if you see me at the Fredo,
but if you don't drink it, you better watch out. He's going to make sure.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I go to the trouble walking 3 feet over there and bring you one of these things. You don't drink it?
I was drinking it.
I noticed. All right, I stand corrected. I'm sorry. Steve says, as Sam's manager, I do hold spaces during the show for one-on-one advice. Spots are limited at $50 per 15-minute session. Sounds like a lawyer, man. You're billing around the quarter hour, huh? All right,
Be fishing.
Be fishing. Sorry, be fishing. Thanks for joining us. Hey, great show. What is the best artificial flying fish for the kite? That's a great question.
So we got two. We got the sea monster. That's one of them there.
This one?
Yeah. And then there's the California flyer.
Is that here too?
No, I don't stock that one. I know they stock it a lot at a lot of San Diego tackle shops. I think I'm sure somebody will have it at the show, but we stock that sea monster. It's a pretty similar one here. I think the sea monster also, this one they offered in a floating version, but they have also the large full size California flyer size. Like a big 12-inch or probably bigger than that, probably 18-inch one. But those two are good.
Great question, Be Fishing. Thank you so much for being here. Hit that like button, everybody. Want to get this up to 100. Kim Herbert, Greetings from frozen Missouri. 5-day trip for 2 paid and
wow.
working on airfare. Kim,
Awesome.
can't wait, man. That's going to be a lot of fun. I guarantee you that. Scott Buchert is throwing a margarita bar for you, and I know your son or daughter is going. I think your daughter. So we'll have some other kind of drinks or something for the youngsters on the boat. But hey, I'm really thrilled you're going to be joining us. That's going to be fantastic. Hit that like button, says Isaac. Raul. Sam, what's a good reel to pair with a Graphite 800 extra heavy?
So anything in that, like probably like this guy here, down to something like this guy here. You know, it really depends on what you're going to be doing with it. You know, that 800XH can be a yo-yo rod. It can be a live bait rod. 50-pound is probably where I'm fishing as far as the leader size with that. Saltwater 40 would be another good one. Your Torque 30. You know, those in that kind of medium or middle size, middle form factor. You know, not the small one. Although this would probably work okay if you're really pushing the limits of it, but more this middle size. In all of those, like Talica 12, you know, Saltwater 40, Saltus 40, that kind of stuff is where I would kind of be looking at for that rod.
All right, very good. Kim's daughter is 35, so have a margarita. That's
All
what I
right.
say. Yeah. Ride 365, great show. Thank you, guys. Hope to meet you at the show. Not as much as Sam and I want to meet you. That should be fantastic. Well, we've run out of questions.
All right.
We can stretch this out, or we can say goodbye to everybody and drink our what are these? Vitamin Zeros.
Vitamin Zero.
I went over to the Costco Business Center today,
Okay.
and I said, it's a ways out of my way, and I'm tired, and I've been working hard all day, but I know Sam would really enjoy this. And so I
And you were
drove
right.
like 100 miles or whatever it was, and I went in there, and yeah.
And you did it. And I drank it.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Hey, Isaac says, great show. You want me to run over there, and then you can remind everybody. Are you open here?
We're really not, guys. You know, we got kind of have all hands on deck. This year is a little different format in that we are loading up on Tuesday versus Monday. And basically what that means is that everything's kind of compressed, you know. I mean, our usually we start on Monday, so it feels like we got a lot of time. We start Monday morning usually in the show there. But this time it's going to, as far as they've told us, 12 o'clock noon, we're going to be starting to load into the convention center and start setting up. So that really gives us about a half a day tomorrow, all day Wednesday to work in there. We'll see what time they let us in on Wednesday, and then Thursday is the start of the show. So we're kind of game on right there from the beginning. So here at the shop, we're going to be here intermittently, but not really open, to be honest with you. You know, if you want to see us, you're going to have to go down and go to the show.
All right. I anticipated Tony's question. He said, any specials at the store? And Sir Hookup Daily says, is my focus the only one that not clear?
Yes.
Oh, maybe well, mine's clear.
Mine's clear too. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe you got into that margarita bar a little too early, you know? All right, Sam, thanks, man. Always good to see you. Thank you so much for drinking the drink that I supplied you with.
You just want to get the recyclable in.
Yeah, I do. It's at least 3 cents, isn't
5
it?
cents, yeah.
Hey, everybody, we'll see you at the show. I'll be wandering around. I'll be over at Sam's booth quite a bit. In the meantime, we thank you for joining us. It's always great to see you. Here from Island Fishing Tqckle in Carson, California. Sam, you're the man. Thank you so much.
See you guys.